Adapt or die. Pragmatic leaders do what it takes. Next up, session 13, part 2. Analyze provider performance problems. Does the teacher have a know-how problem due to inadequate training? Does the teacher have a know-how problem? The teacher does not know how to implement the procedure correctly. If the teacher is not implementing the procedure correctly with the student, then test for a know-how problem. Ask the teacher to demonstrate how to implement the procedure either with the student or another provider who role plays typical student behaviors. Test under motivating conditions. If the teacher does not implement correctly, he or she has a know-how problem. Define necessary teacher performance. This is important in order to get good measures of teacher performance to see if he or she has a know-how problem. Teachers typically are responsible for implementing evaluation, learning, and management resources that are necessary to ensure efficient student progress towards mastery of the knowledge and skills needed for a successful life. What types of resources do teachers need to implement in order to achieve desired student progress? Evaluation procedures, learning procedures, and management procedures. To improve the accuracy of performance measures, the steps in each procedure can be written as a checklist, with each step described in an if-then format. So we took the procedure, teaching procedure that the teacher was told to implement by her supervisor and wrote it in an if-then format, a checklist. As you can see on the left, we have the appropriate conditions for each step in the teaching procedure. And you'll notice that involves the student's behavior, such as when the student is not looking at the teacher. And then on the right column, we have the teacher actions effect standards. In this case, say the student's name. So by writing the procedure in this way, we can get much more accurate data. It also turns out to make the teaching procedure a more useful resource because it's easier for the teacher to review it and say, okay, when the student does this, what am I supposed to do? So we use the checklist and a count-up timer to measure the number of correctly implemented steps in the procedure and the duration of the procedure in minutes. Then we divided the number of correctly implemented steps by the duration of the procedure to calculate correctly implemented steps per minute. And we used an audio-video recording of the teacher's performance, which can improve the accuracy of the measures and allow an expert observer to evaluate that accuracy. To evaluate current teacher performance, we compare current rates of teacher performance to the standard necessary for evaluating teacher performance, which was 20 correctly implemented steps per minute with no errors on 3 consecutive measures, to determine if there is a gap between current and necessary staff performance. So here you can see the baseline measures for teacher performance. This is the number of incorrectly implemented steps per minute, the red diamond, and the green dot is the number of correctly implemented steps per minute. And you can see that if the goal is up here, 20 correctly implemented steps per minute, this black horizontal line, the teacher, in fact, is not implementing the procedure correctly. So does the teacher have an initial know-how problem due to inadequate training? I would say yes. Adapt or die. Pragmatic leaders do what it takes. Next up, session 13. Part 3. Analyze provider performance problems. Does the teacher have a can-do problem due to inadequate resources?